Thank you for tuning in to the Afternoon Pint. This episode is sponsored by Camilla Najat of Exit Realty, Strategy Up Business Consultants, and ISS Atlantic Security Guard Services. Enjoy the show. Cheers!
Cheers!
And welcome to the Afternoon Pint. I'm Mike Dolbin.
I am Matt Conrad.
And who do we have with us today?
Rick Currier, CEO of Partner Vista.
Partner Vista. CEO of Partner Vista. Those are two fancy names, but I couldn't probably understand what they mean right off the top of my head. So, CEO, when did you get this title? Like, what's the story of this company?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because literally right before we started, I was like, I don't even know how to introduce myself because but take a step back. Partner Vista has been around for 3 months, and I've only been CEO for 3 months. So my whole world's kind of changed. So I was like, how do I introduce myself? So
yeah.
Where do we start?
You did great. So you're CEO of Partner Vista.
Yeah.
I guess, before we go, back a bit, let's just talk about Partner Vista for a second. What is Partner Vista?
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually trying to get ChatGPT to answer this for me because it's one of those types of companies that's hard to explain to your mom what you do for a living, right? Or my wife. Funny joke. You should ask her what I do for a living, and you'll probably get something crazy. But
it's like Barney, please.
That's the best. Please.
Yeah. What do you do? Please.
Yeah. That's awesome.
No, I work in enterprise tech, specifically supporting marketers at large tech companies. So a lot of ones you're probably familiar with: Google, Amazon Web Services, Intel, Microsoft. Specifically, I support the marketers at those companies that work on partnerships. So it's a big thing in enterprise tech right now. So a good example is Google Cloud will partner with a software company to take a solution to market.
And by a solution to market, just for our listeners, because they may not know some of this lingo, you mean basically to bring their product to consumers?
Well, their consumers, their buyers are other companies, right? So you think about if you work at a hospital or a manufacturing company or you work at the airlines, you're probably working with IT equipment of some sort, right? You have a computer, there's probably a security system on that computer, you have Office or Windows, right? There's a lot of IT at these companies. Other companies will try to target those IT buyers to sell their solutions, right? And so I work with the marketers at these tech companies that are trying to reach buyers at other companies.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I understand it, I think.
Yeah.
Please. Could you explain that to your 3-year-old? Please.
To my 4-year-old?
4-year-old? Yeah.
I mean, I could explain it to him. I don't think he would understand it.
No, it's just joking. Yeah.
No, but no, it's interesting stuff, and I think in the world in which we are moving towards, it makes a lot of sense. I think it's a smart move for your part to kind of get into something like that because, yeah, get ahead of everybody else. Right?
I looked into it. I had no idea what any of it was. It was interesting. I actually fell into it during Hurricane Katrina.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
so I was doing my senior year at Loyola University in New Orleans. So I guess it's a good point to say I'm an American. I'm not Canadian.
We're going to get to
That's
that.
That's right, yeah.
He's not from here.
Yeah.
Unless you're listening from America.
Americans, they're obsessed with bear arms.
Bear arms? What do you mean?
No, they have the right to bear arms.
Oh, ha, ha, ha. Jeez. That's terrible.
Dun, dun, dun. That's a Norm Macdonald joke there.
Yeah, I put the laugh track in there for
everyone's just walking around. It's like, what kind of arms you got, Grizzly?
Oh my God!
I love Norm Macdonald.
Okay, yeah, he's one of the probably my favorite comedian of all time.
How often do you get Americans on this show?
Like, not often.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
third, maybe
2 or 3. Yeah.
How many in person?
Ooh,
good
Am I the first?
You might be the first American
we
we had on
be
person.
the first.
Well, cheers to that.
All right, cheers.
America.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, any Americans listening, make your way to Halifax and hit us up.
Yeah, if you come here in person, we'll probably put you on the show, Americans. Yes, it's still okay to travel to Canada. We won't detain you if you come by.
Let me ask you guys. We've talked about your show growing in Canada.
Yeah.
Grow in America too, right?
We would love to.
I would love to, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to get that maple syrup down below the border,
we got to figure out the whole tariff thing. But after that, we can maybe maybe you guys could solve that for us.
I would love to.
What are the tariffs on listening to podcasts?
Yeah. I honestly think, I mean, Donald Trump, he's never had a beer in his life, he said. I don't know if that's true or not, but he said he's never drank alcohol.
I didn't realize he never had one.
Yeah, he said he doesn't drink, and I think that's horseshit, because didn't he have Trump wine at some point? Like, wasn't that a thing?
He had wine.
No, Trump vodka.
No, you're right.
Trump vodka.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you have a product never tasted? So I don't know. He may not drink now.
But I think we could definitely get Trump back on our side, fix these tariff things. He just came up and had a beer with us.
I would have Trump on the show.
So let me ask you guys this, because I've worked in advertising, media marketing for years. drinking's actually been a big part of that industry. So you think of like the show Mad Men, right? Like lots of drinking going on, right? That's advertising, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so, I've lived in Chicago, San Francisco, working with ad agencies. It's always been a big part of that culture. I've seen it change over the last couple of years. And I don't know if it's a result of COVID or just a generational shift. Are you seeing in Canada a lot less of the younger generation drinking?
Yes, much less.
Okay.
I mean, I think I hope I didn't tell this story too recently, but I was just at Maxwell's Plum to see Dave. Sorry, I should go back 1 second. Rick's my brother-in-law. Fun fact. Yeah. We're living together this week. He has a beautiful family of 5, and they're living in our house with us, our super huge mansion of a house. It's cozy. With 2 bathrooms. Yeah.
Podcast space for this.
But where was I going with that? Yeah. So I went with Dave, who went to go see him play saxophone one night at Maxwell's Plum.
Yeah.
And all the young people there that were going on their dates were just drinking coffee.
Really?
And like not everybody, but like a noticeable amount. Like they had like probably 6 to 7 couples there just having a coffee or a tea.
What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I feel conflicted on it.
I'm very conflicted because I don't like beer. I don't really like it.
I don't like it. I mean,
people's choices are people's choices.
It's healthier, right? But I'm not sure I like it either.
100% healthier.
Is it?
I mean, it's kind
everything in moderation is good, and it's been proven that people who drink moderately live longer.
For them, like those young students, I mean, it's not as easy as when we were kids to consume large amounts of alcohol.
That is true, but that's healthier.
Yeah.
Drinking less than we did is healthier.
Drinking less, yeah.
But abstaining completely has been proven actually to you live less than people who drink on like.
I don't know if that's a fact. Sometimes you say things, and I love what you said, but I just don't know if it's true. So
look it up.
I'll look it up.
I'm going to believe it's true.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a fact checker. I'm just
backs up what I'm thinking here. So.
I'm just along for the ride.
The thing that makes me the most sad about what you said in your question, is it's Maxwell's Plum. Yeah. Maxwell's Plum was a drinking place. At one point, you could go there and it was like 60 beer on tap. 60 different beer on tap.
Not only that,
people ordering coffee.
And
they had like a $5 beer and fries combo or whatever that was awesome.
Yeah.
And they would have all these like little kind of.
You could go there and as long as you ordered a beer, you could get a whole thing of mussels for $2.
Holy smokes!
That was it was the place.
Yeah. Peanuts used to be all the peanuts, and they'd throw all the peanut shells on the floor. So when you walked around the bar, you just be walking around peanuts all day.
Yeah.
Peanuts. With a T, and just getting that out there, and but eventually they had a huge rat problem, so they stopped doing it.
So when I lived in New Orleans, you could be 18 and up to get in the bars there.
18.
This was 2001 to 2006. Wow. 18 up to get in the bar. But what they would do is they give everyone that was 21 and up wristbands.
Right.
And the bartenders were only supposed to serve people with wristbands. But the reality is, once you're in, everybody drank. Now, granted, this wasn't the French Quarter. This was Uptown. So the rules were a little bit more laxed. And so we would go to the bars at 18, and they'd have quarter draft night. This was TJ Quill's on Tuesday nights, quarter draft night. And so here I am, just 18 years old, just, they're little beers, like 4 ounces. And you just order like 8 at a time.
Yes.
And just drink all night. And it was crazy. Yeah. So anyways, long story short, where I was going with all this, drinking was always synonymous with kind of advertising and the world I grew up in. And, I realized for me, it actually helped me professionally because I've always been in a relationship-driven industry. And it's always like, how do I build rapport and relationships very quickly? It was always like, let's get out of this office environment. Let's get off the calls and let's go grab dinner. Yeah. Or let's meet for happy hour. And just having a beer with somebody and just kind of lowering that barrier to entry to open up, be vulnerable, talking. And it was a quick way for me to just show them I'm not just a robot trying to sell you something. I'm a person with a job. So are you. I can help you. And
the human side.
And we connected always on a personal level. And that once I realized sales for me it's more of a relationship game than a number. The numbers come into it and you got to put in the work. But that helped accelerate me. But I've noticed it's changing now. And it's a shame the last couple of years. People just want to come in, do their job, and then they have their personal life.
Yeah.
And I hear the work-life balance, and I feel and I believe in that, but I feel like people lean so much into it. They're separating the enjoyment that they can get out of work and building work relationships and how that can help your career, and you can And there's wisdom gained everywhere, and I
gosh.
feel like they're missing that a little
You're
bit
right on
now.
the money.
No, I agree. I 100% agree with that, because you know what, I would often tell people, like when I was hiring people and they were getting into a sales role, that it's like, you know, depending on the sales, obviously, but sales is a lifestyle, right? And depending on the job that you're getting into, it's a lifestyle. Like, you have to understand that you can't necessarily count your hours. It's going to be like, you know, I have to do this thing tonight where I'm going to be networking. I'm going to be at an event. Like, you know, we went to an event last night and we tried to network as much as we could, and that's just a part of it, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's not just like, oh, I check out now, right?
I believe your work life and your personal life are hugely connected. They really are, and your personal life's going to affect your work life, and your work life's going to affect your personal life, and you got to find that equilibrium, and you got to find that job you find enjoyment from. And
So it's not Severance. Have you seen the TV show Severance, where they go down the elevator shaft and they forget who they are?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen
fantastic
it.
show.
Is it good?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a good
But that's
show.
essentially what it is. It's a complete
Just
separation.
separation.
So they don't even know what they do. They just go down an elevator.
They don't remember what they do for work.
Yeah.
Let me guess, it doesn't work. Like, is there there's got to be some sort of conflict with that model?
Well, yeah,
right?
you
Well, there's
kind
an
of come to
ominous
find,
thing.
that most of the characters are doing this job because they have trauma that they just can't live. So they just do. They just need to get through the day, right? And but anyways, it's a really brilliant show. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Camilla Najat with Exit Realty Metro.
Camilla Najat is an experienced real estate agent who prides herself in finding the perfect home for her clients. Camilla can help you with a comparative market analysis to help determine the value of your home if you're planning on selling, or help you determine the going rate for the neighborhood you're moving into. She can also work with you at your pace.
You can reach Camilla by calling 902-880-8429 or email camilla@exitmetro.ca.
Also, you can find her on Facebook at Camilla Najat, Exit Realty Metro.
It's Apple TV, right?
Apple TV.
They
now,
do some
yeah.
good stuff
Yeah, they
now.
do really good shows. Yeah. Sorry. But
No, that's good.
No, but it's right on the money with what you were saying, though. Like, I really do think that work-life relationship, it bleeds out into your personal life, your hobbies. Like this show, for instance, right? Quick plug. Like, you know, this is our networking show in a large way. Wasn't intentionally, but also it was built out of a genuinely good intent.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really made to be, hey, we want to meet, you know, the coolest people around. It wasn't that. We just wanted to have a show where we chatted with interesting people over a pint. Right?
Yeah.
So it was a passion. We want to do it. We wanted it to feel like we're at a pub and having fun. And
Yeah.
Well, you connected within a
But
social
his story-
setting that's been around for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
Like people getting around and having some wine or beer or whatever it is, right?
And
That's
it's an
the thing.
easier
His story
conversation.
when he was talking about connecting
Yeah.
with people over a drink and show that you're human. That's exactly what we're doing.
kind of like exactly what the show
And
was.
our
So.
guests generally, like, you know, feel disarmed when we're sitting here just sitting around a table, right?
No, I love it. I love
No,
it. And
no,
that-
it's cool.
That's
Yeah.
how I built my sales career.
To people listening, I mean, I know you on a personal level. You had a massively successful sales career right across America.
Yeah, and it's funny because I don't think I'm that good of a sales rep.
No?
It's like I got a buddy who does sales training at a software company, and he's always like, "Do you do this technique or that
Yeah.
technique?" And I'm like, "I don't even know what the hell you're talking about."
Do you know what, though? And sorry to your buddy, but do you know the type of people who teach sales? People who can't sell.
Yeah. No, it's
Sorry.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's so many, you know, you can go really deep, like any subject, and learn frameworks and techniques and all this stuff, and there's probably good value in a lot of it. You know, I just happen to find myself in a type of sales role that's very relationship based, and I'll be honest, I completely lucked out into that. So Katrina happened the day before my senior year. And so typical in New Orleans fashion, you know, there's this hurricane barreling off the coast, and I have to go to work that night because the bars are still open. And so we're all at the bar, and we're looking up at the screen, and it hit Category 5, and we're like, this is the one we always talk about. This is the one that's going to destroy everything. And so, long story short, we all know how that played out. And, you know, I did my what we called Katrina semester at the University of San Francisco, and they were doing on-campus recruiting, this company called Tech Target, and I just happened to land in this job selling what's called media sales.
Right.
You're basically doing advertising for a publisher, and didn't know what it was, and they trained me, and I kind of fell into it. That was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Crazy.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I think that's how most people kind of fall in sales, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't grow up thinking like I'm going to be in sales.
But sales is a really good profession too.
It's a great profession. You can make a lot of money on it, right?
And you get a lot of enjoyment out of your life because, like you've got to do a lot of things. You got to travel to a lot of places. You can open a lot of doors, right? If you want to get into a sales job that's truly, challenging and rewarding.
I think we're all selling though all the time, right? People don't even realize it. Like, you could be a nurse and you want that promotion. Like, you got to sell yourself on why you deserve that promotion.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. Or you could, you could be just on your Facebook account every day and you're just selling that you're having a good life, right? You know what I mean? You're really
a lot of people doing sales.
Whoever you're trying to convince, you're putting your shit up there. You're showing people that you're having a good time, right? It's not much different.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I think when you're talking about like a sales profession, I think a lot of it just a certain person is attracted to it because they know about certain lifestyle. Again, if you embrace it, that can be a great lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
It can be fast paced. You can make money. There's networking involved, and you're meeting a lot of new people. It can be ever changing. And I think that just attracts a certain person.
Yeah, and I think a big key is like finding the right type of sales job if you're interested in sales. Because frankly, there's a lot of sales that I would be terrible at.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
And it's like, because I think, Mike, you and I talked about this. Like, you love the cold call, right? Didn't you love cold calling? Or at least you enjoyed it.
You know what? I think I've had my moment in the sun with it largely.
Okay.
But I do enjoy it because I like the nuance of it all. Like, it's a bit of a dance, right? They don't want to talk to you, and you just have to kind of have fun with it. It's like prank calling in a sense. Like, if you really look at it at it's prank calls.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
And prank calls give me anxiety, and I freaking hate them. Like, even if you're prank calling someone next to me, that would drive me nuts.
Oh no, like that's my favorite thing. Like, I mean, I love prank calls. So I mean,
aren't those dead now?
No. But,
Does anybody answer calls that you don't recognize?
No one answers calls.
Nobody answers calls anymore.
Everyone has names.
Everyone, So it's like the art of it is like they're trying to get you off the phone as quickly as possible, and you got to try. Right? So it's kind of fun, right? If you just see the game and you don't see the rejection and how hard it is, and you just say, "Oh, wow, he was quick," like he's gone, right? Sometimes a really quick no or a really quick go away is the best possible thing that can happen. It's like I'm on to the next one, right?
That's my point.
Yeah.
You enjoy that. I don't, and I'm terrible at it.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely terrible. And I've probably sold in my career probably $100 million worth of advertising solutions at the various companies.
Wow.
And I could not do what you do in that sales role. I just couldn't do it. But I just happened to luck into a category of a type of sales where I don't have to do that, never had to do that, and I've had some big deals in my life, but different type of sale, and that's my point, is there's so many different types of sales roles out there, and I'm not saying everyone's going to go into sales, but like, just because you don't like one type of sales doesn't mean you're bad at sales. You just might not be good at that particular type of sales.
You're not passionate about a product or something like that.
Or industry or type of account. I know sales reps that like high turnover, just getting deals in, deals out, and then I know other sales rep where one deal might take 9 months.
Right.
That's like a totally different type of sales role. Different, So I don't know, that was kind of my life in learning. And my dad gave me some great advice because I studied marketing, really wanted to go to marketing. He's like, well, if you want to go to marketing, you got to do sales first. Because like marketing supports sales, and the best marketers are the ones that really understand sales. So like, do sales first, understand sales, and then go to marketing.
Right.
I just happened to find myself in a job where I sell to marketers at these big tech companies. So it's kind of cool because you're a marketer at Microsoft. You're working on, let's just say, the Copilot product, right? Your marketing life just is Copilot. That's all it is, day in, day out. I get to go to the Microsoft Copilot marketer, and then the next call I'm over to Cisco working on their marketing plan. Then I'm over to Google Cloud working on theirs. And I get to see hundreds of marketing plans and work on all sorts of initiatives. So that's why I never left the sales side, because I just get to work with marketers all day long.
And you're absorbing all these different kind of methods, strategies, and really seeing how the marketing.
You get to add to them and work on them, and so that always just kept me on my toes.
A lot of knowledge, right? Yeah, it's like working with businesses, and that's something else I love. It's like you see how every business kind of has to operate fundamentally, and it's really cool, and that's rewarding, right? Yeah, so I totally get you there. So you did this job. You're obviously doing okay at it. I mean, I know you had a podcast through that job. What was it called? I think it was called On the Record?
It was called On the Road.
On the Road, sorry.
Yeah,
On the Road.
I ran it for the company. I was the host.
Yeah, and that was great. I mean, I tuned into it a few times,
good.
and
It was okay.
I enjoyed it. You did a good job with it, and it was produced well. I think it was arguably had more expensive equipment than this show.
The production, they did a good job with
with the
production, and that was not me. That was the company. I
Yeah,
had
no,
nothing to do with
it was
it.
very well produced.
Yeah.
So kudos to that. And then, what? Like, it seems like you just had a pretty, I wouldn't say easy, but you had a pretty good corporate life.
Everything was going great until
So-
I ruined it.
So what? No. So I want to really go into your brain here. So what was going on in your head? I mean, there's two ways you can go about life. You
Yeah.
can go about this and just count all the blessings, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like a tremendous blessing. You're tremendously fortunate to be where you were.
Yep.
Right. You know, and not everybody makes it. There's probably 1,000 guys that wish they were you, or 10,000 guys.
Yeah.
And you know, now you've kind of walked away from that. So what was going on in your head?
Walked completely away from it. So I was the SVP of Sales for Foundry IDG, which is if you work in the tech industry, it's a storied publisher. They have some of the best brands known in the IT space. I was there for 14 years. I ran a sales team. I was basically the Western commercial organization rolled up to me. It's about a $30 million organization. We had about 11 people on the team, and I walked away from it all. Paycheck, in the U.S., it was walking away from benefits like health insurance.
Yeah. Scary in the
yeah.
U.S. because there's no free health here in the U.S. Canadians. I'm sure you know that. But, yeah.
And I get 3 young kids, 4, 7, and 8-year-old. We have a mortgage, a wife, a dog. So talk about scary, right? And chase the American dream is what I'm doing.
So
Started a
you
company
chased the
and-
American dream, but like, what were you not happy?
Yeah, it's funny. I was very blessed, very happy, very satisfied, but I always had this entrepreneurial itch my entire life to just create something on my own. And for a long time, I was able to scratch that itch at some of these companies because they would put me in positions where I would, one time IDG, I moved to Chicago. I'd open the Chicago office, and I built the team in Chicago, and then I'd replicate that in San Francisco. And
Right.
I always put on this new team that had this focus. And so I was always kind of building teams and building culture and driving revenue. Last couple of years, though, private equity got involved in our company, and so they were sold to a private equity firm, Blackstone. And
It's a huge company.
yeah,
Huge.
largest private equity firm in the world. And like a lot of private equity firms, the attention really got turned towards the numbers and less so on culture. And culture is a really important thing to me. And so long story short, I think I really needed a kick in my ass to go chase my entrepreneurial dream. And the private equity firm, saying it in the nicest way, gave me that really hard kick in the ass. And so I probably could have stayed there for as long as I wanted to, but I wasn't happy anymore on an emotional level. Like I wasn't getting what I needed. And again, I go back to like work. Your work life and your personal life can be hugely
You
connected.
take that shit home with you. If you're
Yeah.
not happy at work, you're going to take that stuff home with you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fulfillment out of work, and that doesn't mean it's got to be a job. Like you can find fulfillment out of working and volunteering or work. There's a lot of different ways that you can find. I mean, it could just be gardening, right? So I use the word work loosely, but I think humans do get some sort of fulfillment, enjoyment out of work. And I've had that for so long, and I started to lose it, and it really affected me personally. And I remember I took a break over Thanksgiving, took the week off, and didn't check work at all. And my wife's like, "You became a different person." Like I was just happy again.
This episode is brought to you by Strategy Up. Strategy Up is a business consulting firm led by Mark Zerka, who has over 20 years' experience in building commercial strategies that will up your game, organize your teams, increase your productivity, and grow your business.
Whether you're a construction company looking to grow your revenue or a busy restaurant owner just trying to keep the doors open, Strategy Up can help. Strategy Up's boutique-style consultations will help you improve business process across nearly any industry.
Being a successful entrepreneur does not mean you have to be an expert in everything. Strategy Up specializes in building a relationship with you. Once pain points in the business are realized, Strategy Up will introduce process and technology that will power up your game to the next level.
A successful business requires investment. Your next step towards growth starts now. Email info@mystrategyup.com for a free business discovery call. Up your game with Strategy Up.
And then so I came back from Thanksgiving and I was like, I made the decision, I'm done. I'm going to figure this out, and I ended up quitting in March and walking away and, try to save up some money and bootstrap in a business. And, now I'm just trying to make it out as a small business owner. Now I'm, the CFO, the CEO, the operations, doing HR, finance, doing it all myself and just trying to make it work.
I talked a little bit about how you're doing it all yourself, and I mean, thank goodness for AI. I mean, in a lot of planes, like
I don't know how I would have done it before.
Yeah. Well, like even Matt and I we were doing our website the other week, and it was like, what do I mean? I need terms of service, and like, so I don't even know what that is, but thank goodness again for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Went figure that out. I have that. I have an accessibility. A statement on our website to make sure that people that if you have visually impaired, if you're hearing impaired, that we can accommodate folks.
It's game changer. AI is game changer. It's helped me so much with just starting the business in terms of like filling out tax forms to the website, and it's, as long as you're creative on how you use it, I mean, it's amazing what it can do.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and plus it gives you, like I said, it really gives you that bigger paintbrush, right? The specialized skills. I mean, not to be it's a scary thing because you don't know what's going to happen to the specialized skills. The specialized skills always get more specialized and more nuanced in a way.
Yeah.
Right? So with AI, the unfortunate part here is, like, ladies and gentlemen, like, it's only going to hit the limit that where the human contribution is gone when it comes to an artistic level.
Yeah.
Right? It's really going to hit that same ceiling. You still can't get AI to say, hey, make me a completely unique, like, original painting of a cat getting a goldfish out of a fishbowl, let's say. Right? So we paint an artistic idea, and we can get it influence and nuance from all these. Like, we could use a Japanese style animation, maybe 90s American comic book writing, but to get a perfect image that's no one's ever seen before, like Rick drew it.
It's almost not perfect though, but I think of like a philosophical level, like where does inspiration come from, right? And so you think about music, like can AI go out and create a perfect song? Like maybe, but like just you think about some of the music that's been created over millennia. Like what is the inspiration that we received, and where does that come from, and where's that? I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to be able to do that.
Right.
I don't. I was talking to a founder here in Halifax. Tukan, he was on your show.
On our show, awesome guy. Tukan does one of like an awesome episode this year. Go back and check that one out if you like this one. You'd like that one too.
I love it. And we had lunch with him, and he was his vision of it. I think he shared it on your show. Is like, look, it's going to automate just the crap we don't want to do.
Right.
So it's going to free us all up to do more of the things that we do want to do.
Right.
And I hope he's right.
That's his idea behind, and I love that. Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll still continue to drill down and specialize in more artistic forms and keep things going.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier today too. Like, I keep saying the reason why I don't think, like, why AI doesn't scare me is that people still will always want someone to yell at. Right?
Yeah, it's very true.
I honestly firmly believe that. Like, when things are going great, it's fine. Right? Working in the insurance industry, when things are going great, it's fine. You may never hear from your broker, you may never hear from your client, no problem. The minute something goes wrong, and something gets screwed up, or someone's unhappy with something or whatever, somebody wants to talk to somebody. And then if something's still not there, somebody wants to yell at somebody. And unfortunately, yelling to a chat box.
I know you're upset, sir.
Yeah,
I am trying to calm you down. Please try breathing.
Exactly.
You're so right though. Like if you've ever been on like an automated phone and you're just like representative, and it just keeps going, and you're like, you just start screaming representative.
Even if you're going down the road with your Google Assistant or your Siri, and she doesn't understand what you're trying to do, you're cursing at her going down the street. Yeah, I've had that happen.
I have a clear example of this the other day where, like, I had one of my employees who had an upset client about something that wasn't her fault. It was something that somebody else did, but my employee was trying to clean it up. And, she was trying to go through it. And I just said, I typed it out. I typed out the answer. I said, send that answer to the client. And she copied, pasted, put it in there. And I was getting CC'd in it, so I knew what was going on. The next email that came back from that upset client was, I understand.
Yeah.
Just like that.
100%.
Like, I understand.
Yeah.
What do you need from me to fix this? Just like that. It's like,
that human touch.
That human touch of, like, this is the step that you need to walk through. And I just don't know if a robot will relate.
Let me ask you this, Matt. How many on your team, or maybe you shouldn't even say this, but like in general in sales, how many times are sales reps utilizing ChatGPT to help them craft emails?
Oh yeah, none at this point.
Really?
Probably none. Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why not?
Fair enough. I mean, I don't know why.
It's funny, yeah. I don't use as much as I could either. It depends.
Man,
It depends.
I have it polished stuff all the time.
Do you know what I use it the most for?
Huh?
Making up stories to tell my son.
Bedtime stories?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
It's great.
100% the
It's
thing I
good.
make it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? It's actually kind of got me sitting there.
Matt's so proud of his stories. He sends them to our group chat. Like,
I do.
we have a group chat of friends, and it's like 10:30, and I'm reading about Spider-Man and Lizard Man.
I like throw in some ideas. I'm like, hey, tell me a
So
2,000
here's
word
what I
story.
do. I go to each of them. My prompt is like, look, I want a 3-minute bedtime story for my 3 kids. Kid name X, age Y. Down there. And I said I wanted to include the following, and then I go to each of them, and they get to name 2 things each. So my daughter's like, I want rainbows, and then a watch that turns me into any animal I want. And my son's like, I want to run as fast as I can, and a space roller coaster. And my 4-year-old's like, I just want poop. Okay, what's the second thing you want? More poop.
His 4-year-old is
awesome.
obsessed with just saying the word poop. It's very funny.
But then they all when the story comes together and their things are in it, they just they think it's the greatest thing.
No, it's true, right? Yeah. But I kind of do the same thing. He's almost 4, my son, and I'll say like, all right, buddy, we'll do a 2,000 word story. What do you want it to be about? And he'd be like, Spider-Man. It's like, all right, where do you want it to take place? And he'd be like, Halifax or like whatever. He'll say Quebec or something, right? And then it's like, all right, give me 2 villains, all right? And so I just get him to list it off, whatever, and he'll come through.
Isn't
And
it cool?
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And he loves it because it's getting his imagination going too, right?
Yeah.
Getting him thinking of scenarios and stuff. So but that's not work. That's bedtime stories.
No, I use it I have it polished a lot. I'm not a great writer. I think I can put some good ideas in there, and I have to polish it up. I think, what's challenging though is I've had 20 years of figuring out how to write emails well, and so I see a lot of crap come out of ChatGPT too. And so, but I know what's crap and what's not. I'm worried about people that are coming into the workforce now that are utilizing it for a lot of stuff. So they're not building a foundation of critical thinking in these things.
Yeah.
So they're not going to know what's good or bad. Like ChatGPT writes an email, they're not going to know if that's a good email or not because they haven't gone through the school of hard knocks of sending bad emails out. And
I
we
feel
talked
like
about this
I see
earlier.
that. Yeah.
We talked about something about this earlier, but how we are all fortunate to have gone through the generation that we've gone through, where we've had to go to work every day, and we've built up what it is to do that and everything.
Yeah.
So now when we go and do a hybrid situation or a work from home situation, we all know what to do home. But when you have that 24-year-old who's coming out into the workforce right away, working from home might not be the best because they just don't know maybe what to do. Not just how to operate in an office or how to operate in a workplace, but also they don't know the job they just started.
Yeah.
And the best way to learn is from everyone around you.
Yeah.
Right?
The most I ever learned was just sitting next to very senior sales reps and just overhearing their phone calls. They wouldn't go off the phone booths. They'd do them at their desk. And they'd get off the call and I'd stand up and be like, hey, you said that. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's
I
the same
still
thing
think
with
of
AI,
guys from
right?
old places that I worked like 10 or 15 years ago that were so good at sales. You tuned into them. You might not even like them at first, but when you understood that they just had an art of what they were doing, you're like, holy smokes, they're pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
No, that's the thing. It's this weird thing. Is if you don't have at least 5 phone numbers from your childhood memorized, you might need to redo some things. You might need to go into the office more. You might need to not 100%
Childhood numbers?
You have to know at least 5 telephone numbers.
I might have to go to the office more.
That may be true, actually.
I think I know one. Yeah. Or my own.
Well,
I know
I think-
two.
I can remember my mom.
you may know your
my
own,
mom,
something
my
like
mom
that,
and
but,
my parents' number growing up. Yeah.
You know what? I could probably tell you I'm definitely my own parents,
Yeah.
but I could definitely tell you a couple of my aunts and stuff like that.
I don't understand.
I know my mother's work.
I don't know. I don't think that's a good.
You know what?
criteria.
You know what? No, it is. But do you know why? Well, I mean, it may be
just being
different.
honest with you.
I know what you mean. But here, it displays something that we all at least had to do at some point in our
Okay.
life, and that is memorizing phone numbers.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. You're
Right?
right about that.
We had to at least at some point not rely on the fact that everything was just in our phone. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's what I mean by that. Right?
Yeah.
when you have the technology and all that stuff in right now, and everything's kind of like easier given to you.
Yeah.
You know, like everything. There's no bar arguments anymore. You just go to Wikipedia and find out the answer.
Kills an argument pretty quick, right?
Kills an argument real
we can
quick.
literally consult facts.
Let me tell you about something I'm actually really concerned about in the sales side. So we're seeing AI get so advanced so quickly that, you know, right now in the world I live in, we're generating a lot of leads for these companies. So, you know, a lead is a name and a number that, you know, someone might be interested in buying something. So use a sales rep, call that lead and say, hey, would you like to buy my stuff? Right.
Yeah.
And lead gen is lead generation. So we're generating leads for marketers and sales teams is huge in the tech industry. So like, hey, Microsoft, I have this, you know, security expert at this hospital that may be interested in your $100,000 solution. Like that's worth a lot of money, right?
Right. Yeah.
Here's his name and number. So what happens today in the tech industry is that usually goes through a little bit of a marketing automation system where maybe, you know, all right, it's a lead, but it's not ready to be called on yet. We're going to send it some emails. You know, an email might have a webinar for, you know, watch this video about this product. Here's another white paper, which is basically like a 4-page article on the product. We're just going to send it more information, see if this person engages. Okay, they start engaging. Okay, there's probably a lot of interest. Maybe there's a project. Now we're going to send this to a business development rep, a BDR. Someone's going to pick up on, you know, going back to your cold call, someone's going to pick up the phone and say, hey, security specialist, I'm with Microsoft. You know, your cold call techniques. You know, would you like to, you know, set up an appointment to learn more about how Microsoft would like to, you know, and try to get an appointment or try to qualify them or just try to get them to that next level. And then from a BDR, it might go to an outside sales rep, you know, a big, heavy hitter, senior guy that comes in and says, you know, or gal that I've done that, you know, I'm the Microsoft rep. Let's talk about what you're doing at your hospital, why you're in market for this. You know, it's a true outside sales job. They're going to now do that 9-month close. What we're seeing happen in the industry now is AI is kind of starting to absorb this BDR role. So we're seeing a lot of AI BDR type companies come into the market that just basically do the cold calling on behalf of the BDR, but it's entire AI based. You know,
Wow.
Yeah, and it's still in the infancy, but the idea is, you know, next year or two, there's not going to be any BDRs anymore. AI is just going to do the whole thing. Now, the problem with all this is there's a lot of like short-term great benefits in that, like an AI BDR rep is probably actually a lot more effective from the company's standpoint and actually more helpful from the buyer's standpoint too, because they just have a wealth of knowledge that you can never train a BDR on, right? So it's better from the buyer's perspective, better from the company's perspective because they way more knowledgeable again on the products and services, the information they're collecting. You know, you got a BDR taking handwritten notes, or, but the problem is we're not training the future sales reps. So a lot of that, again, going to that outside sales rep who's now taking over that deal, they probably started as a BDR and they learned and they progressed and they scaled in their career. So like, how do you get to become an outside sales rep if you're never starting at a place because your starting point was taken over by AI?
Right.
That, you know, I go back to Toucan and what Toucan said, and I believe it, that like AI is going to help us with a lot of stuff we don't want to do, but I think it's also going to eliminate a lot of the entry level stuff that we needed to do to get to what we're doing now.
Foundational work,
So-
right?
You have to have that fundamental understanding before you move on of a lot of things. Because if you don't take your time to learn the mundane, maybe, or I don't want to say it's mundane, but sometimes those entry level things, you're never ever be able to kind of get to the next level.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a really messy just figuring out stuff that we're all going to have to go through.
You'll talk to this super intellectual AI machine that knows absolutely everything that you're thinking, hoping, and feeling. Then you get me, and you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? And I know nothing about the problem. I'm just reading what the AI is telling me to read at this point, pretty well. Right? That's a weird dilemma. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
then you built no relationship. Right? You were talking about, we started this on beers. No relationship building. And that's another huge thing. Like, we need to build relationships for sales and commerce and capitalism. And everything to survive is around relationships.
Yep.
It really is.
Things are going to move really far in automation AI. But I think it's going to swing back a little bit more because I think people need that human connection. They really do in a lot of different facets of life.
I think we do. Maybe it needs to evolve in certain ways, but we need it. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that.
I mean, that's humanity trying to figure out its way through life all the time, right? For everything with pendulums, like, you know, you go maybe a little too far one way, a little too far the other way, and you know, in an ideal world, I mean, you know, at some point in time, when you look at like Star Trek and stuff like that, like they still have people manning ships and driving and all that stuff, but they probably have AI doing a lot of the scanning and all that other stuff for themselves, right? I mean, at some point in time, we're going to be looking at it, like, will we get to a point where there's like this utopian type world where we kind of don't need to work, right? Will we get to that? I mean, that's what I think people hope AI is, but at the same time, there's also the fact that, you know, we could get Star Trek or we could get Terminator.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Right?
But again, I think going back to my original point, I think a lot of fulfillment and joy actually comes from work. And, you know, I personally, in my own life, I've seen a lot of people retire and stop working, and they're almost lost.
I agree.
You know, they lose. It's pretty bleak, but a lot of people die quickly in that route, right?
100%. No, you're right.
Health
We've
declines.
talked about this before on our show.
Yeah, and it's there's just something weird about work that is very humanly connected with our well-being.
Work or volunteer. I mean,
Yeah, and again, I use the word work. I don't mean the work like get a paycheck.
Or like I mean, I knew this guy. I mean, I'll say his name. His name is Dick Circum. And when I was doing the community theater stuff years ago, and like directing, I was producing a bunch of plays and stuff. This guy would show up to every set build, and he was in his 90s. Yeah, right. Yeah. He died doing that stuff. Yeah, but he died happy. And he worked hard, and he felt great coming in and being, you know, useful and loved and. He'd help me engineer things that I never dream of for a set. Like we'd have to do set designs. He'd build them in his mind. It was unbelievable.
Well, people need a purpose, and I think that's the thing, right? People need a purpose, and I think that's the biggest thing. Is like, you know, people retire and think like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, do what I do on vacation all the time. Until you're on vacation all the time, and you realize how much you love vacation. Because you work,
you need to stop for a minute,
right?
Get your mind right.
It's that like, oh, I get to relax and this is awesome. It's like, because you know I'm going to go back to the grind. It's almost kind of like people appreciate happiness because you are sad at times, right?
And I really mean that work. It can mean a lot of different things. So my wife stays at home with the kids. She works way harder than I do, you know, like that's, and she finds purpose in that, you know, and it's very important and meaningful to her. And it's like, you know, work means a lot of different things to different people, but like, what is it that you're doing to contribute? And that can just be growing vegetables in your backyard. Yeah. Like it could be as simple as that, you know? I think that there's a human connection there that's really important. So, you know, if AI frees me up more to do other things that I love to do outside of my job, like that's also awesome. Too,
also
you know,
awesome.
like to your point, like, that could be important. But I love my job though now, you know, and I always have. I think there was a little
boss is kind of a jerk though, eh?
He kind of makes me work all the time.
Definitely needs to work. No, just joking. But so yeah, what's the goals now? So you got this new company created, you know. What how do you see the next year unfolding, or how do you hope the next 5 years unfolds? What's your, like, I know that's a huge question, but what's your ultimate dream here? Because I think starting out such a big undertaking like you're doing is pretty fascinating. Yeah,
I mean, we're leaning into community. Community's huge. That was why I was talking to Toucan. I know Toucan was a huge believer in community, with especially the Nova Scotia community.
And I'd love to thank him for what he's still doing for Halifax to this day, right? He's on the Volta Labs team, and he's doing a lot of innovative stuff.
It's really interesting too, because he's not from here, but like I think because the Nova Scotia community has really like brought him in, and now he's like paying it back, and he's going all in, which is awesome to see. You know, for us, community is like, it's supporting our buyers, which, you know, we specifically support partner marketers within these companies, the ones that are focused on partnerships. They've been kind of neglected over the years, and so we're trying to give them a platform to just elevate themselves and talk about the great work that they're doing. So we're trying to build a community. You know, selfishly, it is tied into our commercial efforts, and we're trying to elevate our brand through that community. And you know, like any big business, like we want to make money, we want to sell a lot. For me, that gives me an opportunity to hire people, to help people grow. Like, I've been in my career, I've seen so many people that I've been able to, as we brought in more money, I've seen them move up. I've seen them being promoted. I've been able to hire more people. I've been able to take in interns from college. For me, you know, that the money's allowed me to actually elevate more lives around me. And again, support community. And that's like, you think about Halifax, how do we support the businesses here? We need more investment. Investment's money, right? And so a lot of it's tied to that. But again, culture is so important to me. So like, I want to build a business that people are proud of, they want to work at, they feel happy, you know. we're going to try to do a 4-day work week, which is, something we're going to give
There
a
you go.
shot.
That's what you're at, buddy.
I love the idea of a 4-day work week if the business can do it, but
Yeah.
it sounds like your business could do
I think
it.
we
right?
can do it.
Like you're not client facing, right? Like you're not seeing the everyday person. So
Yeah.
if you can do it, I mean, that is the way to go,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, talking about just empowering people to kind of work when you need to work. Doesn't matter if you can work from a beach. Work from a beach.
Yeah.
Like you and I were talking about this on today, and talking about how result-based business is simply just the best. If you can do the job in 3 days, do the job in 3 days.
Yeah.
Right. All you expect a certain threshold, a certain target, the amount of work to get done. Richard Branson is a guy who I learned about this from a long time ago, and that was his mentality. It's just simply I don't care where people work,
Yeah.
as long as the work gets done.
Yep. No, it's so true. And, I think, I've seen a lot of people have to, take Saturdays off to get stuff done, and it's one less day they get to spend with their family on the off, right? And I know a lot of people don't have the luxury of having that type of job, and a lot of businesses don't have the luxury to do that. We do, and so I'm going to lean into that because I think we can do it. So why not?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a technique I think people really need to look at, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we talked about work-life balance and things like that, and that's kind of a part of that. I mean, the most important people in your life are your immediate family, and if you can spend more time with them, obviously that's a huge win, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
That's a huge win.
If you're happy at home, you're going to be happy at work.
Yeah,
That's a big part of it.
And that's I mean that's the big thing for me. It's my son, it's he's starting school, and I drive him to daycare every morning, right?
That's awesome.
And that's something I'm going to kind of miss, right? It's going to cut my commute in half when I don't have to do it, but still
Fun. You get that interaction going to school.
Exactly. And
one-on-one time.
Even on Fridays, particularly, one thing that we do is every second Friday, we go for pancakes at McDonald's, right? It's just a thing that we did.
Do you know he's going to remember that for the rest of his life?
Hope so.
Right?
He just will. He absolutely will.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So it's we go now. If you ask him, it's buddy, what do we do on Fridays? And he's eat pancakes and listen to Spidey stories, because we'll listen to Spidey stories like ebooks and stuff like that, whatever. And that's what we do on every second Friday, right?
Yeah.
Just but if someone asked me recently in my networking group, if you could change your work life or whatever, what would be ideal? And honestly, if I could work 10 to 3, that would be ideal for me.
Yeah.
Because I'd be able to spend more time in the morning with my son, not have to get up at 6, rush out, get him rushed out and all that stuff. It's if I can spend 10, I mean, he's going to go to school, so that'll change anyway. But in the moment, if I could work 10 to 3, I could be home by 4, truly start supper, more time with family and all that stuff.
Was that 5 hours a day?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like that. Did you see me counting on my fingers?
You
Okay,
can do
so you're
that
laughing?
though.
Okay.
You can take the route of doing a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Right. If that's what it is, if it's
That's not an entrepreneur's route, I don't think, but it's
not an
a route.
entrepreneur's route. I mean, well, it depends what you get. It depends what you do, right?
Yeah,
It depends how you structure.
I say
it.
4-day work week, but I'm working 24-hour days. So.
This is the thing, right? Yeah, obviously with you starting off, you're going to do.
Yeah,
you're going to work when the client needs you to work.
Yeah.
I think you'll get there. I think that, and that's the thing in life too. I don't hate what you just said there about the 10 to 3 idea. I think it's great. It would be beautiful, but I think you have to. I mean, I don't want to say this if it upset anyone, but I think if you're a younger person, you're listening right now. In the beginning, it's not going to be that.
100% no.
Grind.
You got to grind. You got to push, because if you want to make more money, you're going to have to work harder than the next guy and the next guy and all that shit, right?
You're 100% right.
So it's you can get there, and I think there are people. I mean, in the broker world that probably do exactly that. They probably do a 10 to 3.
They probably do.
But they got their stuff straight, and they've been doing it for a long time, and their time and they're so valuable at this point.
Yes.
And they manage so much so efficiently.
Yes.
10 to 3 to
I
them.
think you said the efficiently is key there, right?
Yeah.
I think we all grinded when we were younger, right? You just put in the work. Part of it is because you're just not as efficient.
Well, like you, Matt, you've been the manager
right?
for 15 years, so you're going to be more effective and faster at that. Than if Mike decided to manage a team tomorrow, he's going to be a lot slower at it.
Well, there's things like that, and then also to your point too is there's training your clients.
Yeah.
You have to train your clients. When you onboard, hey, this is the time. When I do this type of stuff, whatever. These are my hours available. Like every business that opens, go to a chiropractor. Chiropractors seem to have the most erratic hours on the face of any business ever.
You're right.
It's like
insane.
On Wednesdays we do 2 to 10.
I've never noticed this. Is this a thing?
It might not be in your.
No,
it might not be
it
in
might
the
be.
U.S. Here, it's ridiculous. Not just chiropractors. Actually, there's a lot of professions. There's like optometrists. It's like you only open 12 to 3 this day. What does that even mean?
It's
you
a
just
thing.
shut up and shut the doors down. What did you do?
You have to go on there. It's like Mondays we work 9 to 5. Tuesdays we work 10 to 3.
It's a
Wednesdays
Matt Conrad schedule.
it is the Matt Conrad schedule.
The total man schedule is like,
No.
I'm good at this.
Matt Conrad's schedule would be the same
1 hour a
hours
day.
every day. Same hours
10
every
to
day.
3.
10 to 3. But the thing is, one, you got to train your clients, right? You got to train who you're working with in order to know what your schedule is and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And the other thing is exactly what you said. Don't walk in on day one looking at the most successful person and saying, "Oh, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and they make it look easy. I can do that day one
because
as
it
well."
wasn't easy in the beginning.
Exactly.
Right? It sucked. It sucked for a long time.
Exactly.
It sucked, and they probably wanted to give up 10 times
100%.
over, and
Yes.
they hated their lives.
Yeah.
And
Enter
so-
Rick.
That's fun. No, we forgot to say where we were actually at today because we're actually 46 minutes in here. So where were we today, gentlemen?
Where were we earlier? Not right now. Because we're at Station 6 right now.
We're at Station 6 right now, one of our favorite spots.
Yes.
And having Propeller Galaxies. And what did you have, Richard? You had
Dirty Blonde.
Dirty Blonde.
Yeah, 9 Lux Dirty Blonde.
Yeah.
All great beards.
But we did
Beards,
something fun
beards.
today.
Yeah, we did something really fun today. That's why I'm saying beards instead of beards. I'm tired.
No, we did the 2025 ExecuTrack, which is run through Lawrence Conrad, previous guest, through the Canadian military.
It's amazing.
So it was a fun day. It was an early morning.
Yeah.
We were down there at like 7:00.
Yep.
Downtown.
You got a 4-year-old. It couldn't have been that early. You must get up early, right?
Yes. I was telling this to Mike there yesterday. You know what I woke up to yesterday? My wife and 4-year-old at 10 to 6 howling like wolves. That's what I woke up to.
You know what I told him about? Your little one. Because when we were all in Mexico together a couple of years ago, how he was obsessed with wolf howling.
Oh, I forgot
Remember that?
about that. Yeah.
Remember that? He was just, ow, the entire time we were there. It was so funny.
But we did get up early.
Yeah.
We
got up early. We headed
headed to a military base.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went down to the military base, which was great. And we all got on a bus, and they shipped us an hour and some odd away to Camp Aldershot, where we get to watch. We stood in a firing range where we get to watch machine guns get shot off.
We got to pick them up too.
We get to play with them. Yeah,
Not loaded,
Not
but
loaded.
we got to pick them up.
Yeah, C9, C7, C6s. Yeah. Which is not too foreign from the American over here, but, you know.
I left mine at home, so.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He was like, I've seen all these. I have all these. He's like, what's the big deal here, boys?
This is like, weak. But yeah, no, so we get to do that, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, it was a cool experience just to see. We get to have lunch with the military folks.
Those
there.
guys are awesome.
Yeah.
So I hope
I thought the whole program was pretty cool
Yeah.
because, coming in from an outsider, just seeing how, the military is trying to show the business leaders
Yes.
locally that, like, look, we have reservists that are not full-time in the military. They have to work in the private sector.
Yeah.
And you should understand, like, what it is that they're doing when they're not at your company. Like, why are they needing time off to go and train? What's their purpose? How are they supporting Canada? And then what do we need from you, business leaders, to make sure that we can continue this mission? And so
It's
it was really
brilliant.
cool from an outside perspective watching that and seeing how the Canadian government is leaning into this program to help connect business
And the
with
passion in these
reservists.
young people that they know that they're doing the right thing and knowing that they're helping their country out. They care about their country more than anyone. Like, it's amazing, right? It's a wonderful thing to see.
And so now, as a business leader and business owner, like, what was your takeaway from that? Like, is that something that you would, like, if the program existed and all that stuff, and where you are, would
Totally. I
exist?
mean, I think whatever country you're from, I think patriotism to a certain extent is really healthy and it's really good. And like, you're talking about boys, and I say boys and girls. I mean, some of them are our age, older, but like these men and women are, they're not getting paid a lot to do this. First of all, right? Like they're putting their lives on the line. Like, even you, Matt, you were telling me your story. You got injured serving, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can die and get injured just not even being deployed.
Yeah.
And how can we that are blessed in our business roles support people that are taking the time out of their lives to do that, right? And I think I think a lot of people just naturally are resonated towards that, but they're not always thinking about it. And so I like programs like this that just really just wake people up, give them perspective. Like, look, these people, it's Thursday night and you're going to go watch Netflix. This person's got to go down to the base and do work, or it's the weekend and you're just hanging out, having a picnic. This person's got to go train.
Yeah.
And that's the life they chose. But like, there's certain things that we can do to support it. And I think that's huge. The other thing I will notice is kind of an outsider is that, military, they're trained to kill the enemy.
Yeah.
Mike, right? They're killers, not in a bad way, but like that's what they're trained to do.
Yeah.
They're some of the nicest people I've ever met.
Same thing.
Just
Yeah.
like the Canadian military, like these are really nice people.
Genuinely very kind, friendly people. We sat down at lunch with some boys, and they were like, just, we felt
very
like we were their
pleasant.
friends for years,
Yeah.
right? We were all cracking jokes at the end, like they were our buddies. Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah. So no, I agree with you on
after
that.
they just left their machine guns.
Yeah. so thanks, Lawrence. We really appreciated that, and to the Canadian Reserves, we really appreciate that too. Thanks a lot, guys. So Rick, we do a part of this show. I think we got to get into it now. We call it 10 questions.
Okay.
Now, Matt and I didn't really have 10 questions prepared today because we've been super busy hanging out with you all day. So that's not an insult. We've had a lot of fun with you. But we're going to make them up on the fly again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh no.
So
I like it.
making them up on the fly have sometimes been our wildest ones.
Is it
So
better or worse?
I think they're better. I think they're better.
It's 50-50, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's 50-50.
so I'm gonna. You want me to do the first one? Or you want to
Go
do the
for
first
it. No,
one?
fire
Okay.
away.
Gosh, we'll just cut this out if it takes me long to think. I had something, I lost it. Okay, Rick, what is the purpose of suffering?
Growth. Are these supposed to be one-word answers or like explanations?
Yes, not long or as short as you like. You can
No,
do
I
whatever you
think
want.
I think growth. Like look, you look at anyone. Like, let's not talk about like personal suffering in your life, but like you just look at like training, right? Like if the harder I train and suffer, the stronger I'll be, right? And I think that there's applications of that in a lot of different ways. And when you're suffering through something, I think what meaning do you take from it to how do you grow from it?
Cool.
That was a hard-hitting first question.
was
Holy
a-
smokes.
I wanted to jump
I
right
need
in there.
another
All right.
beer for the next one.
We jump into your soul, man. That's what we do.
Right out there,
Your turn.
just firing away.
You can throw a softball if you want.
Okay, good little soft one. Okay, you know what? All right, I'll go soft on this.
All
one.
right.
All right, I'll go soft. If you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, and it's the only music you can listen to, what would it be?
Oh, man. All right, I'm going to say No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. First, I mean, I have the cassette. I had that on cassette.
I
when it
mean,
came out.
look, like not my favorite artist or favorite band or all-time songs, but all the songs on that album are actually really good.
They were good. Good
So like
good
I'm just
songs
thinking
on
of
that,
like
yeah.
in its entirety. Yeah.
100%.
No Doubt,
great
Tragic
album.
Kingdom.
Great
Good
album.
album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely great.
By the way,
album.
no more music questions because that's like probably the limit of my music questions.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
Do you like the new Gwen Stefani album? No, that's not a question. Okay, so I'll have to ask you about this. I mean, as an American, just
Yeah.
talking about trade. I mean,
Yeah.
if Rick was president, what would you do about the Canada-U.S. trade thing that's going on right now?
man.
How would you resolve it? What would the Rick solution be?
I don't know. I don't even know if you saw the news today, but
Yes.
Trump, just ended all talks.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think I understand, at least this one's a little bit easier for me to understand on why. I think a lot of times it's like, why did he do that? Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's because of the 3% tax on digital services of companies over 20 million. So he's trying to, all those top companies in the world digitally are U.S. companies. And so he's trying to protect U.S. companies.
Right.
And I think if you flip it and you think like, well, does Canada ever do anything to protect Canadian companies? And the answer is like, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Right. And so I'm not justifying it, but I can understand that. How would I solve it? I don't know. I mean, I think I'm a libertarian at heart, so I'm a very free trade kind of guy. But I think there are a lot of trade imbalances around the world where, like, well, we're free on our end, but you're imposing a tariff on your end. This doesn't make sense. We should rectify it. Not saying Canada's doing that. I don't know. I have free maple syrup on all goods
That
and
was a really,
services
really
going
tough
over
question, man.
the border.
Yeah, I think you've done great. I think you've done great. Cheers to that answer.
I'm out of beer. Guys,
Oh yeah. No, we're all.
I got a little
beers.
sip
Yeah.
left.
There you go. Yeah.
No.
I don't know. You guys have always been a good neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, I married a Canadian, so like you guys have a good heart. In my
100%.
place, and so like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're feeling the love this year. You know, Canadians are a little. I mean, I think we've
I
gotten
get why
better.
you're upset. I totally
Yeah,
do.
we totally felt wounded this year.
Yeah.
I think, you know, and I mean that was like there's such a jump in the policy for Canadians listening. There's such a jump in Canadian sovereignty. It was like nothing you've ever seen. I was like,
I
that's
hate
the
to say
best
this.
thing.
Trump has been the best thing that's ever happened to Canada.
To unite Canada.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
No, but
I
look,
would
it's
say
brought
I
you
don't know if
guys
he's the
together.
best thing
I would-
ever's happened to Canada.
I wouldn't
you're
say
right,
he's
you're
the
right.
best thing.
We'll
But
wait to see what happens when this recession comes or doesn't come. But in the meantime,
You see what I'm saying, though? He's brought you
his
guys
point-
together.
No, to your
and-
point, one of the best
he's been great for
things,
sovereignty.
one of
Yeah.
the best things that has come out of this, I think, unnecessary, bickering, because we've existed with each other for hundreds of years already.
Yeah.
So this unnecessary feud, the best thing has come out of it is us looking inward.
Yeah.
And, tearing down interprovincial boundaries that have happened. It literally was easier to import from the United States than it was to import from Alberta.
Just today, Matt, the beer thing. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about the beer thing.
So, let's stay on topic.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was excited with the beer
I
thing.
know, I
but
know.
yeah.
It's a good result,
But
right?
it's a good. There's definitely some good results. I would argue that because of that, we got what I think is a good result in terms of our federal election. Not everyone's going to be happy that like the Liberals were back in power, but the fact is that it's not about to me. It's not about the Liberals being back in power. It's more about the fact that we have a guy who's a little bit more centered and knows the world economy better than anyone we've probably have had, maybe ever, but at least since Chrétien, kind of thing, right? So there is some really good things that have come out of it, but I still wish that we could just put this behind and start being best buddies again.
Totally. And,
right.
and like, look, when I said it's the best thing for Canada, obviously a joke there, but
Yeah, I know.
I think it is causing a lot of countries to like say, well, look, maybe we can't 100% depend on America, but to be fair, maybe you should 100% depend on America in a lot of different ways. And to your point, like, what are we doing as a country, and how do we come together and do what's best? I think that's good for you guys. I don't think like. And look, if I do it differently, I probably would. You guys have been a good neighbor, and I don't like pissing off our neighbors that have that
We had the
unintended
best
consequence.
trade agreement for like 150 years in the world. Like it was hugest trading partners of all time.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So, all right.
It is what it is. We got to go to the next question.
Next question.
That was the long question, but that's fine. Favorite style of beer?
Oh man. So style. Look, we were talking about drinking a lot earlier. I sometimes just like a light beer because I can just have a ton of them. I from Golden, Colorado. Coors is the factory there, so I love a good Coors Light.
I saw Golden, Colorado. I was there. I saw the Coors thing. I never got to go in, but I saw the sign. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I just like a light beer because I can drink a lot of them, and I drink pretty fast, and I'm not gonna get wasted with 2 or 3 beers.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Coors Light. There you go.
Coors' first name is Adolf. Fun fact. Adolf Coors.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there. I just thought it was a fun fact.
No comment.
I don't even know what to say. Next question.
Your question.
Oh,
you're
it's
up.
my question? Okay. If you could place it from the places you've seen across Canada, if you could pick a place to move to, where would you pick?
Oh, it'd have to be Cape Breton.
Cape Breton?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Most beautiful.
pretty
One of the
awesome.
most beautiful places ever. Right?
You know, and the reason is because surprisingly the water there has been warmer. So the Bador Lakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, every time I've gone in the Bador Lakes, the water's been warm. Mm-hmm. And I go down to Crystal Crescent by you, and the water's like ice bath.
Well, that's Atlantic Ocean water, though.
Yeah.
Red Or is
That
a
is
lake.
cold water.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But even,
I get it.
yeah, I don't know. But I like Cape Breton. It's beautiful.
Cape Breton's beautiful. I mean, if you go over on the west side of Cape Breton, over like the Inverness Beach, the water's warm.
Really?
It is,
Okay.
and that's not ocean water, but it is salt water. It's in the Bay of St. Lawrence, like this.
But I love it. It reminds me of the Pacific Coast Highway of California meets Maine.
Yeah,
Right, so kind of the two come together.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
interesting. That's really good,
My
yeah.
wife and I did the drive. What's the drive called? The drive around Cape Breton.
The Highland Trail.
Cabot Trail.
The Cabot Trail. Yeah. And we kept going to these places, and I'm looking at my wife like, this is amazing. Where are all the people? Because it was like peak summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just goes, there's just not that many people in Canada. Because you
Yeah.
go see something like that in California, it's just like cars everywhere and hundreds of people. And you almost have like just a pristine landscape that's just not overcrowded, and I love it.
All right.
How's that a pitch for Nova Scotia?
There you go. That's a great
Nova
pitch.
Scotia. The tourism song, Nova Scotia. You're sorry. You go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. I'm going to throw out a fun one.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Kind of a fun one here. Everyone talks about Canada being the 51st state, but what state do you think would make a really good 11th province?
Oh man.
Ooh, good question. I love that.
What do you mean a good province?
Well, just like,
Because there's a couple I could carve off. Be like, we don't need North Dakota. Like,
You can
have
give
North
them
Dakota.
over. Okay, so maybe North Dakota be like another Saskatchewan for us.
Yeah. Let me think about this though.
Who needs Wyoming? There's like 2 people there.
Man, I'd probably say Oregon. I feel like Oregon would be a good fit for
Okay.
Canada.
Okay,
Cool.
Rick and I are friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why? Because literally, like, that is the hop capital of America.
Okay.
Yeah, see, yeah. Probably a lot of beards, a lot of IPAs, a lot of
Some great beers that come out of Oregon.
It's coastal too. you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
I like that answer.
Shout out to Oregon.
Shout out Oregon.
Yeah.
Rogue beer.
Say it one more time. We'll hit the algorithms. Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah, all right.
No, Rogue beer.
Yeah.
Next time you come from up from Colorado, if you have come across Rogue beer, you bring me some.
Okay. All right.
We'll reimburse.
Is that
it.
legal? I don't know if it's.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, we've just resolved inter-provincial trading on beers. I'm not sure if we're ready for beers crossing borders yet. That's a whole new program. Yeah.
Your turn.
What number are we at? Are we getting?
I feel like we should just do the last question. I'm tired. I mean, you want to just do the last question?
You started, so you have to do one, then I have to do one.
Great.
So one each.
So me, and then you do the last question.
Then I'll
is
do
what
the
you're
last
saying.
question,
Okay. Gosh. Okay, Rick. I know just from knowing you as a friend, you're a science fiction guy.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite science fiction books or whatever of all time?
Oh man. Well, I really like the Expanse series.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Sci-Fi made a show on it. Expanse series was really good. I liked the ending. That was a good one. But I mean, I go back to nostalgia. I think Ender's Game really got me into sci-fi as a kid. I think I was 15 or 16. I read Ender's Game.
Yeah, I read that in grade 9 or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that's just got a nostalgia to it. I loved Ender's Game. It was a good book.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Don't rate my answers. They're all good.
They were all good. They were all good answers. I'm easy. Yeah.
So last question.
Last question.
All right.
We asked this to everybody.
Yeah.
So what is one piece of advice that you were given in your life that you'd like to give to us?
Oh man, it ties back to the show today. So it wasn't advice, but it was something I heard that just resonated with me, and it was a question. It was, are you a cog in someone else's operating system, or maybe it was, are you a cog in someone else's machine?
Right.
And that's like, I was unhappy in my job, and I heard that, and it just instantly felt like, yeah, I am just a cog in someone else's machine.
Huh.
And you know, that doesn't mean like you can't find happiness working in a corporation, because it's not your corporation. But like, I just felt like I was in the wrong system. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized like, this is just not right for me. I have to leave this cushy job and all the security that comes with it to do something different. And so I just asked, like, do you feel like you're finding yourself that you're a cog in someone else's machine? You know, are you doing what you really want to do and chasing what you really want to do? And are you finding happiness and fulfillment? And if not, change it, fix it, take a risk, like do what you need to do. And that doesn't mean you're going to fix it tomorrow, but you can set and for me, it took me 6 months and I worked really hard every day at those 6 months to make it happen. And it might take 6 years, you know, but like, are you at least now on a path to get where you need to go? And so, you know, are you a cog in someone else's operating system is my advice / question.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. Very fitting.
I didn't know that was coming, actually, so.
Cheers, man.
There you go.
You're brilliant.
Thanks, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Cheers.
Awesome. And
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
Best luck with your company, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Afternoon Pint. We are an independent podcast and we need your support. Please take a moment to hit that like, follow, and share button. Email us if you have an idea or suggestion for the show. Please send your feedback. We'd love to hear from you.